Quick disclaimer, any opinion said in this video may offend some people, and if you are one of those people, you shouldn't be here. Make sure to have an open mind and have fun with the podcast.
Because the only problem I would have is maybe the possibility that one of the titties is going to explode at some point. Hello and welcome back to the Desensitized podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tidal Johnson, joined again by...
No.
Fuck it. Dirk. Alright, joined again by...
Nah.
Fucking wait. Joined again by...
Oh, I'm pretty sure you would have caught on by now.
Alright then. For the 13th episode of the Desensitized podcast. This episode covers the media machine. Basically everything to do with social media, mainstream media, the news, basically the messaging that is put out upon society about what is happening in the world, what is good for the world, philosophy, whatever that goes around with our sort of culture. Whether or not it's produced by the government, by people, by corporations, it's all to do with the media machine. So, are you ready to head into that topic, Jade?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
Alright, sweet. So, the media machine. What do you think about it, Jade? What are the good parts, the bad parts? What is the worst part? Is everything as a whole really bad? Is there positives? Is there negatives? What do you think?
I don't think the whole thing's incredibly bad. You kind of need the news to know about some shit that's going on. But then you got things like social media and the way that the news twists what people say to fit their own agenda.
Exactly.
Also, long media is going out of style because our attention spans don't last longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah, and another interesting thing to think about when it comes to the media is it's kind of a lose-lose situation when you think about it in terms of how the media could possibly be neutral, because when you think about it, how is the news media funded? Because obviously it costs money to make news and video content like that, especially for a news channel where they're making things on a regular basis, you know, once a night, once every week, you know, that costs a lot of money to make that sort of production so consistently.
Oh, wow.
And the equipment that it costs, meaning that it has to be funded somehow, and that funding has to either be private or it has to be governmental. If it's private, that means that people can pay them to say a certain thing because that's their bottom line. If they say something different, then obviously the government controls it, right?
Yeah, no, you can't show that, you're not allowed.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's private, even if it's private and people aren't paying you to say a certain thing, you're going to get paid based on your ratings, and as everyone knows, negative things get better ratings, meaning the news is always going to report the negative and not the positive. Or very rarely report the positive and always report the negative.
Nobody wants to hear about that 97-year-old guy that just turned 98 and is going strong. They want to hear about the 97-year-old guy that got to 98 by smoking cigars and eating 5 roast dinners a day.
Yeah, exactly. So they may report things that don't reflect the actual world order, or they may report things that will fearmonger the population, making the population feel less happy or whatever.
Yeah, well, welcome to social media, the place where you can twist anything to make it look like it's cool.
Yep, and obviously social media, everyone's heard this before. Social media shows everything as if this is lifestyle, whereas, you know, people will only post the best parts of their life on social media, so it looks like everyone has a great lifestyle, and then people will feel down and bad about it. People will compare themselves to others, all of that shit.
Yeah, they'll sit there and go, wow, but that's not how I get to live.
Yeah, and be like,
that's so much better. He gets to do that every day. It's like, bullshit, that guy took that photo 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's like the one time he got to do that, and he's so happy that he posted a photo about it, and now you're thinking, oh, that's just what he does every day.
Oh, he did it once, took 20 photos and posted them over the period of like fucking 2-3 years.
And then you've got people who Photoshop photos and then People go, how's that going to work? And, you know, people do things and make something look like it's real, and then someone might go out and attempt it in real life, and then it doesn't work out for them, they get shot because of, like,
that's a high
and stuff.
Negative fucking point when it comes to social media, is people basing themselves off what they see of other people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a negative thing about social media. I mean, a positive thing about social media is that people can actually build their own sort of income and stuff like that from social media.
You can make money off being online.
Yeah, exactly, and that opened the floodgates for a lot of different businesses and stuff, because in today's economy, if you have an audience, you can sell things, anything, so you can sort of just specialize in whatever you want as long as you are able to get the views, and you can change things up to try and make things reach a wider audience. So that is a positive about the media machine, because it's also, especially with social media, I mean, mainstream media, not everyone has control over, so that's one that you can argue a bit differently. For both sides as well, it's also a double-edged sword, because the fact that not as many people have control over it means that it might be controlled and there may be less fake stuff shared, but it also means that if fake stuff is shared, you know, it can't be contested, because it's controlled, and the fake stuff is the only stuff that's allowed through. Whereas social media and all the other sort of media, well, yeah, pretty much just social media, everyone can post, meaning that everything can be challenged.
To make themselves look better.
Yeah, everything can be challenged, but that also means that a lot more dumb shit can be there.
Yeah, wow, they've just started straight up porn on Instagram now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, fucking Mitchell was scrolling through his and was like, oh wait, go back, what the fuck?
What the hell? Far out.
Just a lady getting fucked on the side of the street. What?
What? Yeah.
That was it. It was just straight porn.
Fucking hell. Yeah, nah, I've got quite a bit of a limit on my social media. I only really interact with, like, or follow people who interact with me in real life and make any sort of effort to interact with me. So
yeah, see, I don't use my social medias anymore.
Yeah. The main problem with social media for me, for a lot of, or not the main problem, but one of the big problems about social media is it disrupts the whole, like, attention economy. You know what I mean? When you're on social media and you're looking at someone's Instagram or whatever, you're giving your attention away for free, and your attention is a very valuable thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it sort of disrupts the economy of attention things. I was talking to someone, and I won't name the person, but she was having an issue with her boyfriend, and the whole issue was that the guy, when he's on his phone, she would notice that he's following all these, like, girls on Instagram and stuff, and that would make her feel like shit. But it completely makes sense, right? Because when you think about attention economy, because it comes to the whole attention economy thing, especially when it comes to the whole idea between men and women, is generally speaking, it's always been you either trade attention for attention, or you trade attention for sex, right? So in a romantic relationship, you're trading attention for sex, and some attention back, obviously, but in a hookup or whatever, and in a platonic relationship, you're trading attention for attention, so it's a fair trade. But when you look at, like, all these girls on Instagram and stuff, and you like their pics and you do whatever, you're trading your attention for nothing in return. And that sort of disrupts the whole hierarchy, and I can exactly see why a girlfriend wouldn't want to see their guy looking at all these chicks on Instagram, because even though, like, oh yeah, it's okay, I'm not actually touching them or anything, it means you're giving your attention away to a chick who's doing nothing for you, and your girlfriend is there being your girlfriend, and you're not giving her that attention. So it's sort of, like, unfair, if that makes sense.
That's a long way of saying he thinks that those people are more important than me.
Yeah, pretty much, but it's a way of saying it like that can make complete logical sense. How can you argue against that? You know what I mean? But that's the disruption that social media causes.
Pretty much. I got nothing else to add on that one.
But on the flip side, things like YouTube and stuff might have a tutorial video, and you give the person who made the tutorial video attention by, obviously, you're paying attention to their video, and that increases their profitability, and if you like the video, leave a comment, you know, it increases their algorithmic blah 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 whatever, but you do get value out of the video because you traded your attention for a skill, or you trade your attention for something that can improve your life in some way, like hearing a new perspective that could be like, I didn't think about it like that before, now I can change the way I do things because of this perspective that I've heard, and I got that perspective, I traded my attention for that perspective, you know what I mean?
Well,
but a lot of the time on
funny
social
enough,
media...
that's how I learned guitar was off YouTube.
Exactly.
Well, when I first started, I started learning guitar off YouTube, and then it just sort of came up from there, and I realized I've got an ear for this music shit.
Yeah, exactly. So social media has introduced new trades for your attention that are like valuable, but it's also introduced a whole lot of bad trades that aren't valuable and can affect the people around your life and your own mind subconsciously. You know, the people who are paying for OnlyFans and stuff like that, they're doing a double whammy on the social media thing, is that they're paying their attention to someone who doesn't give a shit about them and paying actual currency at the same time. So it's like a double payment. Yeah, the person who's doing the OnlyFans, they don't sell their soul to that person, they sell their soul to the devil, and then they just get money from other people who also just throw their attention away for nothing. And I think that's a massive disruption.
To the devil.
Yeah, or their dignity, sorry. Their dignity. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you gotta put things aside to make bank. I ain't gonna sit here and dog on anybody's hustle. Like, that's a hell of a hustle, and there are people out there making millions of that bullshit. I mean, fuck, more power to you. Good on you.
Yeah, I agree, but, you know, you can't deny the fact that they lose a part of their dignity when it happens, and, you know, a lot of people are like, I don't want to date that person, or I don't want to have that person as my mother, or whatever. So, you know, they sell something when they do it.
For example, it used to be a stripper, and still didn't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck now.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then that's fine. If you want to have that lifestyle forever, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying there are things that come with it. You know, there are consequences. You do have to sell your dignity
when it comes to that stuff. It all depends on how the person thinks. Like, your average person who looks down on that sort of shit would lose dignity if they have to do it. But there are people that just do it for the sake of doing it.
But maybe you could
argue... Their dignity doesn't lie with that.
But maybe you could argue that they just don't care about their dignity in the same way that other people do.
Well, then there's no dignity lost. It means that they find their dignity in a different place. They don't believe that that's where you lose it.
Yeah, I guess, but when you have to talk about consequences, you can't say that your consequences are just different because you believe in a different thing. I mean, your consequences can be less bad.
Are the same, but consequence depends on how the other person perceives it, so...
Yeah, exactly.
My
dignity.
Consequences for my actions and your actions would be two different things. Like, let's say we had the same consequence. I might see it differently and not care as much as you do. So, all consequences are the same for every action, but some people just don't care as much as someone else.
Tangent onto the other side. Yeah, fair enough.
You gotta respect the niggas hustle, you know? You're making bank and some people just don't care. Good on you.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you don't care, that's your own prerogative. I'm just saying that's the trade you make. You decide to make that trade, that's your own decision, fair enough. But the trade is...
My whole thing was, it's not all losing dignity. There is consequence, but not all consequence is the same for every person. It all depends on how the person perceives what they're doing.
Yeah, I disagree fundamentally. Because I think that dignity has something to do with how other people perceive you, and if you don't care about that, then that's your own thing, but it still counts as dignity being sold.
Yeah, but dignity is also a concept where you lose it for doing things that you find shameful. If you lose dignity in yourself, there are other people who... It's a big mix, because everybody thinks differently. You might not lose dignity with this person, but then there's that one who's lost dignity because you're doing what you're doing, but your mates might be completely fucking behind you.
Yeah, that's true, but there's also, like, I've seen videos and stuff from people who used to do OnlyFans and stuff like that and have regretted it afterwards. You know, and have been
but then there's also people who are doing it, still doing it, and are loving it.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm just saying, you know, a lot of people will say, oh no, I didn't realise that I was selling this part of me. at the time they felt, sweet, yeah, I'm empowered and blah 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 blah, and then afterwards ended up going, fuck, well now I've missed out on all these opportunities that I wish I could have because I did that, you know.
And that's where we're getting into different types of people.
Well, yeah, but you have to understand that, like, we would say that that's your dignity that prevents you from having those different opportunities.
Others wouldn't. Take, for account, porn, for example.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't do that job because it would feel that way. But the people who do, and the people who watch it, like, you don't lose dignity from when you're watching it now, do you?
Yeah, this is a good argument, actually. This is a really good one to save for pornography. Because there are, I feel like we have differing opinions. We have differing opinions.
Yeah, but I'm not just going to let this one slide.
Yeah, I know, but we got more content now, so...
Yeah, I'm not. Well, we'll jump off pornography. I'm going completely off dignity now. Yeah, and it all depends on the audience that you're broadcasting to.
I'd have to say that there's some things where I'm going to have to disagree on everything being subjective. That's a slippery slope for me that I'm not willing to take.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. You're the kind of person, and we've had this discussion many a times, that is very solid on how things should work. And you can't think from somebody else's perspective with it, or know what they think if you don't understand it yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, I can understand things, but I can, you know, it doesn't mean that whatever I understand is correct.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you don't understand where I'm coming from fully. Like, we're missing something here.
No, we are. And because it got too close to going to pornography and OnlyFans, I think we should save this for the pornography podcast, because this is going to be a doozy. Especially if we have a guest.
Yeah, wow. I would like to think of dignity as a thing that you hold to your own standard.
But I wouldn't like to think of dignity as something that you hold to yourself, because then that means that you can just do anything.
We've got two different perspectives on dignity.
Yeah. But that means if you can just hold things subjectively, then that just means you can do anything and nothing's wrong.
No, you can do anything within your moral compass. Other people thinking you're wrong is a whole different thing to losing dignity.
I can't agree.
Yeah, no.
I have to say that in this particular circumstance, I think that selling photos of yourself on the internet or pornography or whatever is selling your dignity to the devil. You may be okay with selling your dignity, but I don't think it's not.
Thing I have heard
I don't think it's not selling your dignity. Well, I just said the devil to the devil for effect, because I'm not a Christian, so I don't actually believe that the devil exists. But I'm just saying you're selling your dignity away, and you're not selling your dignity to your customer. Your customer is giving you something, and in return they're not really getting much. But you're selling a lot from yourself when you are the person selling, but you're not selling it to the customer. That's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to say here, and that's the whole attention economy thing, is that you sell your dignity, not your attention, and the person who's buying from you, they're selling their own attention and giving away money to you, but you're not giving your dignity to them. Your dignity's going somewhere else. I just said the devil for effect, if that makes sense.
What is your definition of dignity?
My definition of dignity?
Yeah, just a straight definition.
Why don't we actually look at the dictionary one and see if I'm incorrect?
The state of quality, or the state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect.
Worthy of honor or respect. Oh, okay. Yep. Then it's completely based on what other people think of you. Honor doesn't exist within yourself. Otherwise, you can just say, "Oh, I'm honorable because I had a wank." You're not honorable because you had a fucking wank. You did nothing.
Yeah, but it's state or quality, so it's what you believe your dignity is worth. It's your self-worth, basically. What other people think that you're worth. And if someone's paying money to see you, if anything, that should raise your worth, right?
No, because there's the whole dynamics between men and women, and the people who are paying to see you naked are people who are down bad, in a general sense.
Not completely true.
Majority of the time. Vast majority
Not even
of the time.
There is a lot of big and normal class people that just look at it for the sake of looking at it, because it's there.
Yeah, but no, there's a lot of that's true that there's a lot of people that on the surface you would think that they're completely normal, but I always You know, because I know I have experience with pornography myself. And I would say that when I was looking at pornography and stuff, I wasn't even looking at OnlyFans, but even when I was looking at pornography and stuff, it's when I've been down bad, in all honesty. So, that's my own experience. I mean, there could be some people who are just built different, but I feel like in the general rule of things, meaning not everybody, but a vast majority of the people, you know, when you're down bad as a guy is when you start doing those things.
That is a big assumption to make, considering it's a half and half. It's not just a small majority of people that watch it for the sake of watching it. I used to do it when I was younger, because I was a fucking kid.
I was a guess. But when I was a teenager, that's what I thought as a teenager as well. I've realised now, looking back on it, that I was actually down bad.
Yeah, no, but if you take it, let's take it from a biological standpoint then.
Okay.
The brain, when you're growing up, starts learning different things, and one of those things is ecstasy and lust. And that's a new feeling for a kid, because as a kid, you don't feel...
Hold on here. We're giving the audience too much before the pornography episode. Fuck you, cunts. You're gonna have to wait for this shit. This is getting good, but you guys are gonna have to wait. Because we can't spill the beans too early.
Oh, I just want to rip it to pieces.
me likewise. But you guys, cliffhanger again.
Fuck you, you bastards.
You bastards, there you go. Another cliffhanger. Alright, let's move on to the next topic, because it can be completely far away from pornography, and we'll be safe and not have to talk about that just yet. Because you guys gotta wait for it, and there are topics that we need to get out of the way before they become unpopular. Are you ready to head on to the next topic then, Jade?
Not really, but yeah, go on then.
We have to. It's just business, guys. Nothing personal.
Nothing personal.
Alright. Andrew Tate's arrest. Alright, this is that topic because, you know, time's ticking. We gotta get to it. So, what are your beliefs, Jade? Do you believe that he's guilty? Do you believe that he's not guilty? Do you believe that you're agnostic in the situation, you don't actually know, and you think there's plausible deniability and plausible... I guess it's a plausible theory as well. What do you think?
I think I really don't care. A guy saw that he got arrested. I don't know what the fuck he got arrested for, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, shame.
Yeah, the accusation is sex trafficking. The idea is rape and
people were sending videos of the party he was having at his house.
Yeah. There were two instances. The first time he got accused of this, he was cleared and said not guilty, and the story was, according to them and the police, obviously they have a lot of money, so it's plausible that they could have paid off the police to say this, but the idea was that the first time, an American chick was in Romania and ended up at one of the parties, and her boyfriend texted her and said, hey, that's Tate's house, what are you doing at Tate's house? And then she freaked out and said, oh, they're holding me against my will. And then the guy believed her and then went to the police, and then the police raided his house and found that there was nothing. That's the first time. The second time that they're still in court for it is apparently there's an American girl who said that two people were going to their house believing that they were gonna like become their wives, like Tate, Tristan and Andrew's wives, and then they were forced to do OnlyFans content. And also some sort of rape allegation as well, because there were these voice recordings of Tate saying that he enjoyed it every time that a girl didn't like it. The girl don't know who he was talking to, but there were voice recordings released by Vice. Vice were at the house like a year or something ago, and there are voice recordings released by Vice having him basically admitting that he raped someone. That's basically the current situation as far as I can tell.
Oh wow, by the sounds of it, it sounds well deserved.
The thing
just
for me,
because you're famous doesn't mean you get to get away with rape, my bastard.
I agree with that, but the thing for me is that I don't know if he's guilty, because the rape admission thing, it's possible to deepfake voices, and he is a very large target.
It's very possible to deepfake voices.
It's very possible, and the how possible it is, I didn't know until I actually saw someone do it. And they did an Andrew... I was looking at things, and I saw a video. It was by Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson has a book called The 12 Rules to Life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone deepfaked his voice and made a video that was called The 12 Rules of Suckin' Dick, and had Jordan Peterson talking about slobbing on knobs and shit. And obviously Jordan Peterson didn't do that.
Yeah, wow.
Right? But the voice was very convincing. And then I saw another video where someone deepfaked Andrew's voice, because, you know, he's been on many podcasts and stuff, and you don't know how deepfaking works. You basically need a massive sample of content to feed to an AI, and then the AI will be able to, after it takes a long time processing, you can basically type things in, and then it will basically text-to-speech that, you know, that sentence out in the voice that you were wanting, right? So once you've made it, you can basically make it do whatever, but it does take an intense amount of computing power. But the people who would have an intense amount of computing power, Vice, obviously. They're a massive news conglomerate, and they would have a lot to gain from exposing Andrew Tate in this way. You know what I mean?
Well, they would have a lot to gain in exposure from the case anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't immediately believe that they're guilty. Obviously, being a fan of Tate myself, there is a bias there. But with deepfake technology and him being such a large target, and him having been on so many podcasts, meaning there's that massive amount of information that can be fed to an AI, that's there, check. He has a bunch of people who hate him, and a bunch of people who want to bring him down, and he's got a lot of money, so if he is brought down, there's a lot to gain, check. You know, he's also someone who, you know, rises up and, you know, lets men rise up, or young boys, you know, get stronger in a way, and that's something that a lot of society doesn't want with the new feminist movements and stuff like that. So it's possible, it's plausible that he could have done it because, you know, he has the facilities to do it, and he could make it happen, and he has a lot of money. But on the other side, it's also plausible that it could be a false accusation, because the person who's accusing would have a lot to gain. You know what I mean? And it's very possible for these...
where you're coming from, and it ties in very well with social media influence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, but I don't care enough about the accusations to actually search into it. I don't care to have an opinion on the thing because it doesn't really bother me.
Well, I mean, it does for me. As I said, I'm a Tate fan, and a lot of the things that I've done good for my life have been as a result of, I guess, advice from, you know, and a lot of things that Tate has said have revealed to me to be true through more and more that I live life. The more things that Tate said that I've disagreed with have come out to look true. Or not disagreed with necessarily, but a lot of the stuff that he said has seen, like, you know, as I've lived further and further, has come out to look like seem more true and realistic throughout time. But yeah, that's my whole opinion on the arrest thing, is that I don't really have a side to take, because I can see that it's plausible. It's a plausible accusation, but it's also plausible that those notes could have been deepfaked. And, you know, there would be a lot of incentive for people to deepfake those voice notes.
Oh, you sound like a conspiracy theorist. Be careful, you might start thinking the world's flat.
Yeah, so I'm basically in the middle there.
Yeah, and I'm not even in the conversation. I just couldn't really get behind any of it.
Alright.
He goes to jail. Alright. He doesn't go to jail. Alright.
Next one. Are you ready to head on to the next little bit? There's only 2 for Statement Stalemate today, because I couldn't really find more statements that I wanted to put in. So it's going to be a short podcast this time, but that's fine.
Yeah, well.
You ready to head into some statement? Yeah, cool. Statement Stalemate, the first one. I believe the news. Agree or disagree?
I don't believe the news until I've researched it on my own.
Based?
Like, if I see something on the news, then I'll go, oh, really? And then I'll go research it. And then, like, this fucking factory that blew up like 4 or 5 years back, I forgot what country it was in. but the whole thing went up in fucking flames. And I saw that on the news first off. I mean, really went and researched it, and it was true. But I won't touch anything that I can't find myself.
It wasn't in Lebanon, was it? Or was it in Brunei or something?
Well, I couldn't tell you. I was in tourism class and I got bored, so I was watching the news.
Fair enough, yeah. I mean, for me, I can believe the news and a lot of things, but the news lately, for me, has come out and shown that it's... Especially after having gone to a different country and looking at the news that's been said and looking at what the people of that other country believe based on things that they've seen from mainstream media of New Zealand has been crazy. When I was in Germany, Germans were all like, oh, New Zealand seems like it's the greatest country in the world, bro. They seem like there's no problems with their economy, that like everything's fine, it looks like paradise, why the hell would you want to live anywhere else? And they thought Germany was really bad, where they were living. And when I was in Germany, I was like, what the fuck? You guys got like public transport everywhere, it's cheap as fucking chips, you got free university, you got all this shit. We don't have none of that in New Zealand. New Zealand's basically a prettier version of the United States, honestly, compared to Germany. Like, we're just like...
To be able to comfortably live in New Zealand, the one thing that you really need is money.
Yes! New Zealand hates brokies, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then, you know how the government solves it? They give you, like, $300 once, ever. And they're like, oh, yeah, we solved poverty. Because we gave you $300 once, ever. Fucking bullshit, man. Jesus
What do you expect me to do with it? Invest it? No, I bought food for my children.
Then the prices just keep going up. Fuck, man. That's the thing about Germany that I really liked, is, you know, instead of just giving people money, right? They do that, but instead of just giving people money in Germany, they try and drive prices down through clever fucking subsidizations and mandates on how farms work and stuff. So they try and drive prices down rather than trying to just give people money, give poor people money, you know? Because just giving people money just increases inflation.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But, you know, how that's perceived in Germany and stuff is like, you know, it'll obviously make them feel like the government's not doing as much for them because they don't see the government coming and giving you money. But then they see the the Labour government in New Zealand just giving them money during COVID or giving them money after COVID as this, like, subsidy, whatever the fuck. What was it called? Cost of living payment that they gave out. And they're like, oh, wow, the government's caring about their people. Our government doesn't really do stuff like that, even though their government's kind of doing more from a New Zealander's perspective. And from New Zealand perspective as well, I feel like New Zealand is very similar to the US. And the reason why I think this is because New Zealanders, most of the time, don't really know fuck all about the rest of the world. And it's really interesting when I was talking to people from Europe, because Europeans know a lot more about New Zealand than, you know, like, than you would expect, you know, and just the whole world in general.
Come down to we're just not interested.
Yeah, like, it seems like, you know, Europeans and other stuff, you know, they just know more about the world than we do, and it makes me feel like New Zealand's really like fucking America. And that was something else that a German mate who came to New Zealand, and I met him and I did a little tour with him and stuff. He was really shocked when he actually came and was in New Zealand, because he said, oh, New Zealand was so, like, beautiful and everything. And it is. New Zealand is beautiful for the natural shit. But he was like, oh yeah, everything seems so perfect and so great and stuff in New Zealand. And I come here and I'm like, am I in the United States? You know? There are some differences, but it really feels a lot of the time like we're in the United States, but we're portrayed completely differently.
Well, yeah.
And, you know, everyone in New Zealand likes to think we're so high and way better than the US, but we're really similar. We're like one of the most similar countries to the US in the fucking world, other than the US itself.
When it comes to knowing about other countries, the only people that care to learn about other countries are the people that need to for business.
Yeah, exactly. But,
see, I don't learn about other countries most of the time because I don't care.
Yeah, but that's the other thing as well. When you look at things in New Zealand, the media doesn't really give people an incentive or anything to really learn about other countries. As in Europe, you know, all the news, there's not just world news, and there's not like local and world news, you know, everything's world, you know, when I was in Germany, everything's world news, because, well, you know, they're thinking about how things affect everyone, and because people in Germany, from a young age, are very incentivized to go to different countries and stuff, because they don't have to worry about how much the uni's going to cost, or they don't have to worry about being thrown straight into the real world as soon as school ends. So they're all like, oh yeah, let's go and explore the world and see what things are like. And I think that's a very positive thing for them, because there's a very big difference I can see in people who have done that sort of massive world trip travel and people who haven't done it. And, you know, it's a clear difference, and I think it would be better for society if more people were incentivized to do that, especially in New Zealand, you know? But because of New Zealand being so American...
Being like the US thing.
Yeah.
And having fucking Southerners, we got natives.
Yeah. So that's interesting. That's interesting. So I mean, I would say I don't always believe the news, because I used to always believe it, but now I just, you know, I don't even look at the news, honestly. I don't even bother looking at the news. I'd rather just like find things out randomly from people themselves, because the boots on the ground experience is different, and also just looking things up myself when I want to know something. But I don't even watch the news.
People.
Yeah, I way prefer talking to people, and the news can be biased and stuff, as we've discussed before about it being controlled by the government or not, or whatever. Alright, ready for the next statement?
Finally.
Social media can cause young people to hate themselves. Do you agree or disagree?
Agree.
Yeah, I completely agree too. It can, but not always. It can make you feel better about yourself too, but I mean, a majority of the time it makes you feel worse about yourself.
Yeah, because you're basing your own self-worth off other people's as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Over other people's experiences that they're posting, you go, oh man, but that looks so fun and I'm such a loser, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's how you move it too, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
9 times out of 10, that guy's not a billionaire. He's the same loser that you are. He just got a lucky one.
Bro, yeah, the one thing that's like really standouty for me a lot of the time is, especially when like chicks are on social media, they like see it and they've got like 1,000,000 messages that they have to answer, and you go as a dude, it's like you're getting a message like once a week, bro.
Yeah, no, fucking, you get a message and it's like, bro, you look gay, bro.
Yeah, true, right? Bro, I see that, I'm like, fuck. There was this, a friend of mine, she was going and telling me about how, like, she's like, oh, I'm sorry if I don't answer you or whatever for a bit, because I just, like, I have to turn my phone off because it's just too much and I just can't focus on it because it's too stressful trying to answer everyone. I'm like, the fuck? And this chick, not to dog on this chick, but she's not a celebrity. She's not famous. She's just a normal chick. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, funny that. Take the like a chick's social media account and then take this fucking YouTube account, for example. The first comment that we got, well, actually, first comment we got, I didn't understand. But then, yeah, the first proper comment we got was a fucking hate comment.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, fair enough. We're a very controversial channel, but
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a hate comment, and the hate was based on our fucking gender.
Yeah, wow.
Fucking hell, man. It's true.
You might as well just show them the comments and go, you're ugly.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did voice their opinion, though, so.
Yeah, no, that was good. I was just specifying that, females get all of these messages, and we got a fucking long comment on how to hate men because of our opinions.
Yeah, exactly. But fucking hell, eh?
Oh, well, good on you.
So true, though. Fucking... it can make... Especially guys. I think it can make guys feel so shit about themselves, social media. Because it's so rigged up against us a lot of the time. Especially dating stuff. It's rigged against dudes.
Yeah.
Have you heard the whole system about how the frickin' dating apps and shit work?
No.
It's the same as how nightclubs work, you know? How they want to get all the chicks to like go and get a good time on there so that there's more chicks on the app, and then the chicks are the ones that the guys go, and the guys are like, oh yeah, let's go and try and get some, And then what they'll do to the guys is they'll rig it against them so that the guys will get like way less matches and get almost fuck all. And then when the guys get fuck all matches, they're like, fuck, I want to get matches. So they pay for shit so that they can boost their profile. Yeah, it's just like a nightclub where all the girls get to go in for free and the security guard lets them in real fast and stuff. And then the guy's like, oh, I want to go pick up chicks. So they go in and they try and get chicks by buying them drinks and shit all night. And then they have to pay an entry fee and all this shit, wait in line for hours. You know, it's the same shit. So I think that can make dudes feel real shit about themselves. Especially young dudes.
Yeah, wow.
Because young dudes are broke and shit, so, you know, it makes them feel shit about themselves.
Broke, lonely.
Exactly, bro.
Down bad, bro.
Broke, lonely. Probably heartbroken because they had a girl in high school, and then as soon as the real world hit them, the girl bounced and went to some other dude who could pay for her shit.
Sorry, my guy. She's a rough life.
She's a rough life. Alright, that's Statement Stalemate. This is a really short podcast. That's good though. Alright, you ready for some Ammo the Arseholes then?
Go for it.
Alright. The first one. Am I the arsehole for being upset when my boyfriend adds teenage girls on social media that he met through his camp counselling gig? What do you think?
No, I don't think she's an arsehole for thinking that.
It's a bit suspicious.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit suspicious.
Alright. Context. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3+ years and we live together. He's 36, I'm 35. He's in the military, and he volunteers as a counsellor for a summer camp that his branch of service puts on. As a camp counsellor, he is assigned to a small group of boys and girls ages 16 to 17, maybe some 18-year-olds too, as their juniors/seniors in high school. The first year, he was a camp counsellor. He came home with a lot of stories about a 17-year-old girl we'll call Lisa. Then I noticed he added her on Facebook and liked her posts. This bothered me. I brought it up and it caused many heated arguments that went nowhere. Updated to correct that. At the time, he had added that girl and a couple of boys from the summer camp. None of the other kids. Last year, he again volunteered. He added a handful of girls on Facebook and Instagram, but also added some boys as well. After camp was over, he said he and some of the counselors were going to meet up with some of the kids at Top Golf. This blew up into a heated argument, as I felt that this was wildly inappropriate. He disagreed because there was going to be a group of the kids, not just one or two, and other camp counselors there too. He didn't end up going, that I know of. Recently, I came across one of the 17-year-old girl's Facebook profiles. My boyfriend is friends with her on Facebook. And her cover photo is a picture from summer camp of my boyfriend holding a flag while she handles it. One of her friends commented on the photo, "Who's the cutie?" She didn't comment back, but liked her friend's comment with the heart emoji. That caused another massive, horrible argument between my boyfriend and I that of course went nowhere. He swears up and down that the girl's friend was referring to her, the 17-year-old, not my boyfriend in the photo, and insists that's how girls talk to each other. They say, "Who's the cutie?" to call each other cute and stuff. I said, well, you won't mind me reaching out to the person who commented "Who's the cutie?" to confirm, right? And asking if she was referring to the 30-something-year-old camp counselor or the underage girl. He says no, not to reach out, and is worried that he would start rumors/raise suspicion about his integrity. Am I the asshole, as my boyfriend clearly thinks, for being upset about all the above and for being highly suspicious over it at all? Updated to add, a common misconception is that I'm jealous of teenagers. Not true. In my mind, the only reason a man would add female minors on social media, like their posts, etc., when they're not family members, is because they have an inappropriate interest in them. Hence why it's also upsetting for me. My focus is solely on my boyfriend, and whether he's able to see how inappropriate he's been. We talked last night, and he finally came around and agreed with me. He's deployed now, but we were already planning to go to couples counselling when he's back. I plan to bring this all up then and see what happens. Alright. Do you think she's the arsehole? I agree with her. honestly.
Yeah,
it's kind of
no,
weird
so do
as fuck. That's weird as hell. I know what the 17-year-old girl thinks. I don't know what she thinks. That would be interesting.
I never think that you can blame the child in this
No,
situation.
you can't blame her, but I'm just curious as to what she thinks. Honestly, you know.
Well, who the fuck knows? You'd have to go ask her.
Should I reach out? Alright, yeah, so...
If the video gets 50 likes, we'll bring her on as a special guest. Fuck.
Oh, God. Yeah, nah, that was funny as well, the boyfriend saying, oh, that's just how girls talk to each other, even though
no,
that's the he's saying that to the girlfriend?
Oh,
And she's the girlfriend. No, but wouldn't the girlfriend know more about how girls talk to each other? Right?
Oh, exactly, because she's a female.
Yeah, exactly, right? And she was once a 17-year-old girl, too.
Not only are you trying to defend yourself, you're doing it completely trash.
Yeah, I know. The boyfriend's suspicious as hell. I mean, the one thing that's kind of throw off is that he added boys, but also, like, it's kind of... if I was... I don't know. I mean, I just went to a camp, right? And never in my right mind was I... Yeah, like, there was a lot of times where I was like, ooh, I don't think that's appropriate. The bloody younger girls there would ask me about, like, one thing in particular, or whatever, and then I just like, that's not inappropriate. And I just tell them straight away, that's not appropriate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
So the whole idea of him having like posed in a picture that's just him and her holding a flag, and then she's pulled it up, and then I don't know. It seems strange. Although when I hear about the flag thing, it just immediately made me think that he was like shirtless doing some like muscle pose, and then she was like next to him or something. I don't know why it made me immediately think that, but that's probably because he was suspicious the whole time. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And because he's military, so he's probably in shape.
Probably very in shape.
Yeah. And because he's in the military, he's probably, like, not seen his girlfriend very much, so he's probably, like, deprived as well at the time. So I don't know. He might be starting to go on the sus side.
Yeah, but now we're starting to grab at straws, and we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the woman, not the girl, the woman is not the arsehole in the situation. I think the guy's a bit strange.
She's valid.
Yeah, I think the guy's a bit strange. He's not valid. Honestly.
No, you're not valid. You're suspicious.
He 35. Oh no, 36. She 17. She's not legal, my friend.
I get it when you're 18 and or like you could be 21 and you're dating someone who's like 18, 17. That still fucks with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're both legal though, it's like fair enough. But she's not even legal, so...
I still don't like it.
And he's in a relationship too, so...
Yeah, wow.
So, you know, so even if they were both legal, she would be in the right. Even if they were the same age, I think she would probably be in the right too. So I don't really know about going to someone's camp and being someone's counselor, then friending them, then posing for their Facebook profile. I don't know. Alright, you're valid. You're sweet. Alright, next one. Do you want to read this one?
I've already got it up.
Alright, cool. Sweet. Let us hear it.
Oh. Am I the asshole for expecting from my girlfriend to not show her body off on social media if that makes me insecure?
It depends on what you mean by showing off. And by you saying just because it makes me insecure, I don't know. I don't know about that part, because you see, if that's your reasoning, I'm kind of iffy about you. If your reasoning's more about, like, I feel disrespected when you do it, then I'm kind of more on your...
You're valid if that's your reasoning.
But you say, because I feel insecure, that sounds really strange.
I don't look like you or some shit. Yeah, you're strange.
Yeah. Alright, need more context. You valid or you strange? You strange.
You strange. So I don't consider myself jealous. I don't tell my girlfriend what to wear, do or not do, etc. She is a very attractive young lady, and I understand she's very proud of her body. Anyone would be. Nothing wrong with that. We had a situation where she posted her ass on a WhatsApp story.
Oh.
You old. She told me that only her girlfriends can see it and whatever, why wouldn't I? It's my body. Well, I understand that it is her body and she can do whatever she wants. I think that do you want to have a healthy relationship, you have to be willing to tone down your wishes. That makes... tone down your wishes that make your partner feel bad about. I really would like to stay with her, but this kind of thing I do not understand at all. Why is it needed? I asked her, why do you have the need to show this to people? If you want only certain people to see, why not send them a pic? On what she replied, who told you I posted it for someone to see? Which absolutely makes no sense to me. Someone explain to me, please. Am I controlling and crazy for not wanting to deal with unnecessary stuff like this? Nope, you valid.
Yeah, I think he's valid. I think he's completely valid. No, I think you should say it to her like that you feel disrespected.
Yeah, no, because feeling insecure kind of just makes the whole thing look like you feel bad about yourself because she looks good.
Yeah, no. But I think...
Whereas the whole concept is you don't want her posting provocative photos on the internet for others to see.
Yeah.
Because why? His point is completely valid, like, why?
Yeah,
but why?
But he's got a why on his side, and that's like, it's sort of removing that exclusivity that they have in the monogamous relationship, if she's posting herself online like that, intimately.
Yeah, well.
That's supposed to be an intimacy that you share with you and your partner, because you're monogamous, right? But you need a why, because there's a reason for him, you need to have a reason for you, and you haven't given a reason.
Yeah, well.
As like, me talking to the chick, if in that last sentence, so it makes sense. What was the consensus of Reddit?
Well, I saw yes, the asshole.
Wow.
Yeah, but I feel like it defended his point more than going against it. Hold on.
Yeah. You read some?
Yep, I already put it down, so I've got to open it back up. So, the top comment is yes, the asshole. And to be honest, I think you've almost got there on your own in your post if you read it back. Fundamentally, if one person in a relationship wants the other to start doing something, and the other doesn't want to even entertain that, then the relationship needs to end. If this is a deal breaker for you, then end it. You say in your first sentence that you don't tell her what to do or not to do, but here you are trying to do just that.
Nah, yeah, I think you should just own... Like, I wouldn't say that you're just jealous or something. But you are kind of saying what she does, what she should do and not do, Maybe you're not saying what she wears.
He's asking what's the reasoning for it.
Yeah, that's true.
He's opening it up for, if you can give me a good reason back on why it should happen, then by all means go for it.
Yeah, that's true, that's the difference, yeah.
I'm not telling you that... Oh, fucking hell. I'm trying to advise you and try and get information on why you're doing it and how it's a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. I agree then. I think he's not the arsehole. Ooh,
no,
I'm some sexist guy now. Alright.
Yep, everyone's saying that he's an arsehole.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're probably all simps though.
Oh, wow.
Alright. Ready for the next one?
Yep, go for it.
Cool. Am I the asshole for not disclosing that I had plastic surgery to my boyfriend?
For not disclosing what?
That she had plastic surgery.
I mean, it would have been nice to know, but it wouldn't really be a deal breaker in my opinion.
You want some context?
Go for it.
I, 26-year-old female, have been dating Max, 25-year-old male, for 4 months. When I was 22, I had a nose job as I broke my nose twice as a kid, and it left it with a large bump. Then, at 23, I had a breast augmentation that bumped me up 2 cup sizes. These were lifelong insecurities that I was bullied over, and it was really relieving to get them done. On to the present. I met Max through a friend, and things have been great. Last night, I was strolling through my social media while on the sofa with him. I stopped in an old classmate's vacation photo, where she wore a bikini and frankly had very obvious implants. She looks great, happy for her, but you can tell. Max glanced over at that moment and said, "Gross." I asked him what the deal was. He said women who get implants or other surgeries are a huge turn-off to most guys, and how men prefer natural over 2 balloons and how insecure she looks. I couldn't help but laugh and say, "So you're turned off by me?" He got very confused and asked what I meant. I informed him that I had these procedures done before. He kept denying it and saying I was joking until I showed him old photos of me. He got quiet and left shortly after. I got a text saying I should have disclosed this on the first date, how I led him on, that he needs to reconsider things. It's the next day. Haven't heard anything. I'm bewildered. Am I the asshole? What do you think? There's edits, but they're quite big, changing things. So, yeah.
I reckon that, in my personal opinion, it wouldn't break a deal for me.
Neither.
But I would be quite on edge about things now.
Yeah, same.
What the fuck else are you hiding from me then?
Yeah, same.
It's only been 4 months, so yeah, I'd be clicking wow, I can get over that. Fucking, congratulations, you've got plastic in your body, but is there anything else that I need to know about?
Yeah, well, same. I don't think that she's the arsehole, and it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, honestly, especially because he didn't know. I think I don't really like the idea of having a girlfriend who's had plastic surgery, because in my mind, plastic surgery always looks weird, or, it'll feel weird when you try and grab it. But if I've already had that experience, and then she goes, oh yeah, I actually had plastic surgery, I'm like, oh, well, I didn't even know, so it's not really a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it doesn't really change much.
Yeah, exactly, because I've already been like, are you sure? And this, he's like, nah, surely not. And then she showed photos to prove it, right? So, if I was completely convinced that much, then it's it's not a problem for me, because the only problem I would have is maybe the possibility that one of the titties is going to explode at some point because of the...
Yeah, well, that I might be being a bit too rough and it might pop.
Yeah, something like that, or if it's just already weird, for me. But if that's not the case, because it's clearly not the case here, then I don't really care after that, if that came out.
No, I'm not really too fussed.
Yeah. So it's, but, you'd rather that she would have told you, but it's like it never really came up in conversation before, too, so you can also give her that.
I'd like to know what the fuck it's changed. You felt it, you've been there, you didn't know, and then she told you, so what the fuck changed besides the fact that you already know now?
Yeah, I think the guy might have some, moral objection or some shit, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking too. He thinks it might affect his social status.
Yeah, something like that, which is kind of shitty. So, I wouldn't really care myself, but I'd also be a little bit nervous about... Because I kind of think I'm kind of against the whole plastic surgery thing, because the main thing for me is that it's, if plastic surgery is seen as so, fine and everything, then all these young people are going to start plastic surgerying their bodies so much, and then that might turn into some bad outcomes. So if I was dating this girl, I'd be a bit nervous on how she would... you'd have to talk to her, but if you're dating this girl and you want to be serious, which this seemed like it, and that's what I would be doing if I was dating a girl, I'd want it to be a serious thing. If I was being serious, I'd be thinking about how would this girl be with my potential children? Would she be influencing them to do the same thing, or would she be like, oh, it's completely fine? So that would be a bit, bad for me, but obviously she seems like a down-to-earth person, so you could probably talk and then,
plus if she didn't bring it up sort of shit because she didn't feel it was important, I don't see why she would then force it on the kids.
Yeah, exactly. But
she
then,
didn't even let you know.
But then she might not, if the kid came to her and was like, oh, I want to get plastic surgery, she might not be like, oh, but, there's the negatives and stuff. She might be like, oh, that's completely fine,
I'm not going for it.
Yeah, I'm not really keen on that part,
But that's the same with parents that have tattoos and shit. They'll tell you, anyone with a tattoo will tell you the downsides of it. It's you're gonna have to live with it forever. Yeah, I know. It's gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, do you want to hear the new edits?
Surgery shit. Yeah.
Alright, cool. The first edit. Alright, y'all, I got a text from him a few minutes ago asking to meet up. as he thinks he wants to continue the relationship and wants to talk things over. After all these comments and some thinking, I sent back along the lines of his reaction made me realise he's not the partner I'm looking for, and that I've decided not to continue our relationship. So yeah, I'm single now, kind of confused if I should mention this to future dates before we're official to weed out any more like him. How do you even bring this up? Oh well, I like me, I'm content with my natural and unnatural parts, and I'll find someone who doesn't have huge hang-ups on plastic surgery.
Good on her.
Yeah, I think good on her. As for, should you do this like earlier, before you're official, to weed out any more like him, I think absolutely yes.
Yep. No,
I don't
yeah,
think it
just
should be
like
a first date thing. I don't think it should be like an absolute first date thing, because you might, I don't know. Oh yeah, you should actually. Although maybe if it's first date. Nah, I'm just thinking about someone you might miss out on, because like I said myself, if I hear, oh, plastic surgery, if I hear that, it's going to make me immediately think like everything's kind of weird and unnatural feeling and stuff like that. And then
looking for someone who's not like that.
True. Yeah, but like you might miss out on someone who would be fine with it. That's fine though. She's a chick. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, well.
But everyone wants you anyway, so it doesn't matter. But like, I was just thinking, bloody, what's her name? You might miss out on someone who doesn't really like the idea of plastic surgery, but would be fine with it, like how we were, because the guy went through it and it was completely fine, but the guy was so like strange at the start, so I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just trying to see if there's any way that you don't weed out anyone who would have been good, but they sort of had that thing in their mind at the beginning.
Well, that all depends on what she's looking for. If she's looking for someone who will completely accept her for her, you've got to bring it up at the start.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, you probably should bring it up at the start. I mean, how would I think if I was on a date with a girl, or I first met a girl and she said, oh yeah, I've got plastic surgery? I don't know.
I would react in a way that, because of, personally, I don't care. Like, no.
Yeah, the whole idea for me is just... The whole idea for me is just that I don't want it to be like this situation where if you're a bit too rough, it's going to pop, or like some shit like that, And you don't know.
Well, you could start a decent conversation over it. And, I mean, once you get to know the person... Yeah, it's like, so is it uncomfortable?
Yeah.
If I poke it with a pin, will it blow up?
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, nah, that would make sense then. So yeah, weed them out immediately. Go for it. Alright, next edit, there's more. I just woke up and there's no way I can reply to all the comments I got overnight, but thank you to everybody for your opinions, and thank you to everyone who's wishing me well. I am sad. We had plenty of good times in those 4 months, and I am hopeful about this one. And I was hopeful about this one, but I'll be alright. Time for a few self-dates to cheer myself up. He finally replied to my text. I was hopeful we could start over on an honest beginning, but I guess only one of us is mature enough to look past each other's shortcomings in the relationship. I'm glad you revealed about yourself before I got too involved. Goodbye, good luck finding someone, because no real man would respect someone who can't even respect their own body.
Oh man is hurt.
That was the weakest. Wait, then she says, wow, I was comfortable with my decision before, but now I'm extra comfortable. Lamau blocked and lied. He never deserved this limited edition set.
I like the attitude.
Yeah. Fuck
yeah. You valid. I back that up.
That last text, bro. I thought the beginning was like, oh, he might actually be completely normal, and then no, I thought he was gonna say something nice.
Yeah, like, well, that's your decision. I mean, that's fair.
I thought he was like, I was hopeful we could start over on an honest beginning, because I realized that it wasn't actually that big of a deal, and I had my past insecurities that I worked through. But if that's your decision, that's your decision. You know what I mean?
No,
I was gonna go that way.
You went the curve of, I hope that we could have an honest beginning, but you're not mature enough. You will never have a real man.
What the fuck? Just trying to be mean.
Yeah, no, that's because he got hurt. It hurt him.
Yeah. No. Oh god. Weak.
Weak.
Weak. That's not top G. That's not top G. Top G
that's a
would have been
bottom.
either nothing or like what the one I said. I was hopeful we could start over on an honest beginning because I realised that it wasn't such a big deal as I had made it out to be in my head, and there were some insecurities that I managed to work through thanks to what happened. You know, if that's your decision.
Funny
that you
thing
don't
is, I
know, then
reckon
fair
he
enough.
could have pulled everything back if he had said something along those lines.
Yeah, no way. He might have been able to get her back, honestly, if he said that.
Yeah, but no, he went, no, you're a bitch, you're fake, your tits are fake, and any man you'll get is fake.
And it turned out that he was the one who was fake.
Fucking L's, bro.
Yeah.
Top L.
Oh my god, what a dick. Nah, not the arsehole, that guy's the arsehole. Fucking hell.
No, you're that crazy asshole, you valid, you valid.
Man, it's just so, like, funny to see that, like, this dude is freaking dating this chick and stuff, right? Yet there's, like, those thousands of dudes who just ain't getting nothing. Ever.
Yeah, no, there's like those guys out there that are reading this going, notice me!
Yeah! It's crazy, man. Oh well.
Yeah, well,
Times be tough.
times be tough.
Alright, that's the last Am I the Arsehole. So, anything else to add on the whole thing then, Jade?
Nah, not really, I reckon it was good. It was fun.
Nice, yeah, sweet, cool. Alright, let's head on into the intro then. Okay, that was the 13th episode of the Desensitized podcast. I hope you guys all enjoyed the Am I the Arseholes. We enjoyed them, enjoyed our insight on all the social media stuff like that. Are looking forward to the pornography episode whenever it comes out. It may be the next one, may not be. You will find out when the next episode comes out and when the pornography comes out when that comes out. So, I have been Tidal Johnson. I'll basically say goodbye now because I have nothing left to say and I don't have a message to Jake. Apart from hello, I hope you're doing well. So, goodbye.
Jake, leave a comment.